Welcome to another episode of our channel, and this time we'll continue the renovation of our bathroom, which is taking a little longer than we anticipated. It is another raining day, and it looks like it rains every Saturday in North Carolina just to impede our progress. Again, we do this renovation only on weekends because we have normal jobs Monday through Friday, so we cannot really do any additional work during this time. This is part of the reason why it takes us that long. This usually will be another week project if you have the time to work on it at your leisure and you do not have to work only on the weekends. But that's how it is with DIY in any case. Surprise, surprise, it is raining.
Yeah.
I think Mother Nature is playing with us. Every weekend it likes to rain, every Saturday. And today it has rained the whole day.
And we have a nice little lake going on out there.
So today we're going to try and do a little bit of progress. I don't think we're going to do as much progress as we wanted to, but we're going to try to finish the drywall, and we're going to try, what else we're going to try? Trying to mud and put the last piece of drywall up. Mm-hmm. This is a lesson in patience, at least for me. And you cannot hurry steps, right? If you hurry steps, you will make mistakes that can cause really damage to your project and your house later on. So, stick around. I think we have some fun things to show you and some tips and tricks, techniques that you can use for your own projects. So this is going to be a very fun episode. Last week we showed you the basics of drywalling. This week we're going to show you a little more advanced things, and that is how to make the openings that you need for your plumbing to come through. In this case, the shower head and also our big valve plumbing. So here we're showing you exactly how this process should work, and we're doing it on our last wall. We left the most difficult work for last. We're using keyhole saws, which are the best for this specific application. And as you can see, we're still outside. You can hear the rain falling on our metal roof, and we're making those cuts after we cut the drywall to size and before we take it into the house to minimize mess. So with our drywalling finished, this was the trickiest, because we need to make holes, right? The advantage of this, you do have a little bit of play, because you have cover plates, sorry, that was too close. Mm-hmm. You have cover plates that allow you to be...
They can't see what you're doing there.
You don't have to be perfect, right?
So the idea is to create the opening to allow you to be able to access the plumbing, but still have enough space that your cover is going to...
And also, as I said, it allows you a little bit of, what you call it, a little bit of
leeway?
Error, yeah. Because it is, you're not going to cut the hole, I guess what I'm going to try to say, I guess I cannot speak. Don't cut the hole the exact dimension of your cover.
So,
cut it a little smaller.
So where we ended up with ours is around in here, so that there's actually a good ½ inch on either side.
Which gives you some protection against the mistakes.
That will go over and fully cover that opening.
Right.
Right.
Another tip and trick is that if you have a laser, like we do, use it. It allows you to hit your studs without having to worry too much, right?
Right. And so what we had done was mark the stud on the floor before putting in the sheetrock, and then we line that laser up, and that way we can bring up the laser to hit our stud on point.
So now we're going to move on to the next steps. Even though this is water-resistant drywall, the green drywall, it is not waterproof. So we think we are going to waterproof it even more. And they sell liquid membranes for that purpose. They go in like paint, but they create a surface that is impenetrable of water, right? And we will do that after if we decide to tape, or the membrane can take care of that taping. But anyway, it is strongly recommended that you do that. And those membranes are both mold resistant and waterproof. So even if you have a little bit of water leaking inside, it will not damage your drywall, and it will not allow mold to grow behind your tile.
And by leaking inside, you mean like if there's something going on with the grout and the tiles,
right,
or around the plumbing for some reason?
Yep.
Okay.
We're now ready to cut the last alcove, and we're doing that exactly the same way as we did show you last time, but there are a couple of differences on this one. One of them is that our rotary tool cannot go all the way to the stud because we have drywall there, and the base of the router does not allow us to go all the way in. The other is what you just saw here, and that is that our router bit actually getting disconnected and getting stuck into the wall. I've never had happened before, but it did happen this time, and of course we had to remove it and fix it, and we did fix that problem, and we continue without any other issues. However, because of the original problem, which is that the base of the router does not allow us to go all the way to the stud, we need to add one more step to this process, and we're going to use our oscillating tool to make the final cut, so we have the full size of the alcove to work with and we do not lose any space. So we switch to our oscillating tool and we can clean up any mistakes we made before. This is a very easy tool to use with drywall, and with a nice blade it works like butter. Absolutely no issues at all. So first we're going to cut all the way to the stud, as you can see here, and then the difficult cut is to follow all the way the stud from bottom to top, so we have the full size of the alcove as we envision it. I must admit it was a mistake on my part, not calculating that we're going to have to run into this problem, and we could have put the alcove in another place so we didn't have to do that. However, sometimes things you do not anticipate come back later to bite you, and you have to find solutions to that. This is fairly easy, but we take it by steps because on occasion you can nick the wood, the drywall, not the drywall, you can nick the stud, and when you do that it stops. This is very important then to follow your tool and feel your tool. There's going to be a very clear difference between cutting drywall and cutting wood. You're going to feel it in your tool and then you stop. I did this mistake here, and the moment I start cutting into wood I stop and we reassess the situation so we can continue without doing any damage to our drywall. You can see here, however, that we continue with a stop search. Mrs. DIY took over for me because space is at a premium here and we did not have good space for us to record. I apologize that we're not doing a great job. We're doing the best we can. I do not have a GoPro that we can set somewhere, so someone has to hold the camera, and that gives us some limitation on how good a job we can do on very tight quarters. Maybe we're going to purchase a GoPro so we can do nice tighter shots. Let us know below if you think that the GoPro will allow us to do better content for you guys and show you more detail in everything we do. Regardless, however, this is the right tool for the job, and as you can see, slowly but steadily we're reaching the end and we're making a nice clean cut, and we have an alcove exactly the dimension we planned and the way we wanted it initially. Our next step is taping and mudding. This is an important step so you have nice surfaces, and in our case when we put the membrane on we're not going to have any leaks. Remember, for us this is going to be a roll-on membrane and not a plastic membrane all around.
If you want to go ahead and get the next piece, I'll kind of show some of that with you putting it in, or you're putting it in now.
I've already put all the mesh all the way
Oh,
up, and
now
I'm
you're-
taping,
now you're
mudding
mudding
over
over
it.
it. Okay.
I haven't done this corner.
Okay. Go ahead with what you're doing, and I'll just get some of that as well. And he can voice over.
And indeed, he is voicing over. This is kind of a boring process, so I did not know how to make it very exciting, but sometimes it's important to see something if you have never done it, to get a general idea at least on how to do it. So enjoy mudding and taping, courtesy of us.
How is the mesh to work with?
Easy. Way better than tape.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sheetrock tape can be kind of a bear.
The key here is even nice long strokes that create a very nice surface.
And how are you going to do that edge there with where the inset is?
Here,
Yeah.
just like that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this process takes time and you may not rush it, otherwise you will regret it. I did not calculate correctly how long this will take us, therefore we are further behind than I thought we will be at this stage of the renovation. Regardless, however, this is something that has to be done, and in a renovation in a bathroom you're better off doing it correctly than doing it haphazardly and then regretting it, having leaks, having structural damage. You must take your time and do everything the best way to your best of your ability, and not worry if it takes a little longer. Again, here is where your sweat equity comes to play. So taping is an important thing that you have to do when you're drywalling, and we're using this plastic tape. Some people like the paper tape. This is a matter of preference. While some will tell you there is a better than worse, this is just what we chose. There is not really a reason why we did it, right, Mrs. DIY?
It was the first thing we saw and it looked like it would work.
So there are, if you're a purist of the paper tape, you can use that. The application is the same. You put it in areas like here where we have a bad joint between two pieces of drywall, or you put them in corners like we saw you here. And you start by putting a layer of mud first, and then you put your tape on. Even though this tape has some adhesive in the back, I don't think it holds as well without the mud on behind it, right?
Right.
So you start with a little bit of mudding, as you see Miss DIY doing here, and then you lay the tape and then you do more mudding over the tape. And that creates a very nice seal. There are special corner mudding tools, but unless you do a lot, it doesn't work. So with mud on the corner, we're ready now to put the tape. And what you do is you embed the tape to the mud and then add mud to it, right?
Yeah.
The process is the same even if you're using paper tape. Makes no difference if it's paper or plastic. I feel like I'm working in a grocery store. Paper or plastic? The trick here is to put enough mud behind the tape so the tape sticks easily and does not fall. That's all. As you can see, you just press it in the corner, and that ties everything together. And when we put our liquid membrane over it, everything will be nice and tight and liquid waterproof. So you see our arrangement here. This is one of the better ones I've seen. It will be very hard to do it 100%. And as long as you do a nice clean hole like you see here and on the bottom in our valve, that allows you a little bit of access and will be covered by your
The faceplate.
the faceplate, you're good to go. Again, I've seen much worse than this. Mrs. DIY being a perfectionist, think we didn't do a good job. I think we did a great job. So we reached the end of today, and disappointingly for us, we didn't achieve as much as we wished to achieve, but this is a slow process. As you can see, we mudded the alcoves, and we mudded all the corners, and the area that the two pieces of drywall butt on each other.
The seam, yeah, where they're coming.
And unfortunately, this is a patience process. We need to let it dry. There is no two ways about it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to do some more work tomorrow, and maybe we'll do a short video tomorrow, like a bonus video. But other than that, we hope you learned some new techniques that will help you with your remodeling project. And if you did, we'll appreciate a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know what else you might want to watch in our channel. I must state that I do not often miss deadlines, and when I do, it actually does bother me a great deal. So we went on for a little drive, and we stopped at the big box store to buy some equipment and material that we did not have. So if we do a little more work tomorrow, we do not have to go to the store, but rather have a fully productive day. I apologize for not finishing on this episode as I was intending to, but the reality of DIY or any project is that time it takes longer than you think. From Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY and Elpida, let's remodel something together.